Hello, hello, my brothers and sisters. This is Garrett Bake, your brother in arms, and welcome to another episode of The Tactical Businessman. Today's topic, speed. So I want to tell you something funny that happened this morning. It's Monday. The kids are back in school after Christmas vacation. My wife and I are trying to make sure they've got all their stuff together and their clothes and their paperwork. And like, if you're a parent, you know exactly what I'm talking about here. Monday morning rush, but it's amplified because it's Monday morning after a holiday, a vacation. And so we're getting all this done, which ends up putting me behind on my morning routine and getting to the office and what I need to get done in the morning. So I take a shower, I get out and lather up to shave, and I go to shave and whoosh, what do? I cut myself on my neck. Like literally, I'm a bleeder sometimes. And so I'm trying to get dressed, but I'm trying to get dressed without getting blood all over myself. And then I've got this like paper towel and I'm dabbing the blood, trying to get it to like seal off and close off, and it's not. And so I'm like, got blood, and then it's just like a disaster. And I know you can relate to this because this has happened to you before. And so I'm driving to work, holding up a paper towel on my neck to try and make sure that I don't bleed on myself and to get this bleeding to stop so I can actually focus on what it is that I need to focus on. And I finally get it to stop. I get to the bathroom, try and wash it off. And what happens? Well, when you try and wash it off, it starts to bleed again. So I'm like completely distracted, completely off on a totally separate tangent, all because I cut myself shaving this morning. Like that's it. One dumb little thing and completely derailed me. And I started to think about like, why was I going so fast? Why was I trying to shave so fast? Why was I trying to complete this thing so fast? Like, what was so important afterwards that this needed to be rushed? Now, we talk about this a lot, and I want to share with you another story. And this one has to do with my police career. I was on the gang unit at the time, and I'd only been there probably 6 to 8 months, like not very long. And one of the perks of the gang unit is we got a take-home car. Now, at that time, my take-home car happened to be a white Crown Victoria when Crown Victorias were popular. I had a white, completely unmarked Crown Victoria. But here's the problem. It was a CNG Crown Victoria. What does that mean? That's a clean natural gas. I don't know if you guys remember the phase when governments were into trying to clean up. One of those was natural gas, and somebody decided that it would be smart to retrofit police cars with clean natural gas. Horrible idea. I experienced this. Some of you may or may not have, but let's just say it was not a good experience. And you guys remember the fad of clean natural gas came and went. But anyway, it wasn't a new car. Plus, it was a Crown Victoria that had been retrofitted with natural gas. So I'm headed to work. I'd actually just got done working out. I was going to shower at work. So I was like shorts and a t-shirt. My vest was sitting on my passenger seat, as was my gun. Like I was as completely low key as possible. And my path to work, I had to jump from one freeway onto another, right? So I exit one freeway to get onto this other one. And as I start to merge, it's Saturday afternoon, so there's like a ton of traffic, right? Everybody's going somewhere Saturday afternoon. So as I start to merge onto the freeway, I see this, it was a Cadillac. I don't remember if it was CTS, CSV, CS, whatever. It was a Cadillac in the HOV lane. This just went flying by me. Must have been going like 100. I was going like 75, 80. So I was going pretty good, but he just flew right by me. And I jumped into his lane to try and catch up to him, and it was not happening. Like natural gas car, let's just say you hit the accelerator, nothing happens for about 10 seconds. And even when you do, it doesn't really happen. Because of the traffic and everything else, I was like, there's no way I'm going to catch this guy. So I just kind of kept an eye on him, didn't say anything on the radio, didn't nothing. I just kind of keep an eye on him. And he happens to exit at the next major exit, which the off-ramp, because it was Saturday afternoon, was backed up with traffic. And I was like, well, perfect opportunity. So I jump off the freeway and then I turn my lights on, and he has no option but to stop. Like there's cars in front of him, there's cars to the side. Like he has to stop. So he's already stopped. So I throw my vest on real quick, throw my gun belt on real quick, walk up to the car, and it's occupied by 5 males, 5 of them, which is kind of strange because they're not like teenagers. They're 30s to 40s. I'm like, all right, well, this is kind of weird. Walk up to the driver. Hey, do you have a driver's license? Oh, I don't have my license. And I'm like, okay, well, it's kind of weird. Go back. The plate is from Texas. Okay. So I'm digging a little more. I'm like, are you sure you don't have your license? So he starts digging around. And in the center console, he finds a license and gives it to me. Again, it's from Texas. And I was like, this is great. Out-of-state stuff is really hard to run. But the occupants of the vehicle were acting very, very strange. Like it wasn't a normal traffic stop. At this point, I've done thousands of traffic stops. They were not acting normally. And so I knew something was up. Went back to my car and called for backup. And I start to run the name in the computer to see if there's any warrants, to see what kind of criminal history there is. And the light had turned green. Well, the light had turned green and all the cars in front of them had proceeded. So guess what they did? Well, they waited for a few seconds, but then they took off. And I was like, here we go. Saturday afternoon, rush hour traffic, not even my part of town, and off we go. So I call it off. It's something we call a failure to yield, right? They were not yielding to my emergency lights. I try and, of course, accelerate, but they have a Cadillac and I have a CNG Crown Victoria. So they go over the overpass. Now, the first turn over the overpass is one that will actually loop you back to the freeway. It's this unique part of town. Whether they knew that or not, I don't know. But they hit this first, within a quarter mile, they hit this first turn and then turn right. No stopping. They had the red. They just turned. Boom. And then they punched it. So I get to that point and I try and do the same thing, right? Because I'm like, these guys are not going to get away from me. I try and do the same thing. Come up, glance to my left real quick to make sure there's no cars real quick, and then hit the gas. Well, in this space of too many cars and things happening quickly, I don't see the car that's in front of me in the second lane. I was looking at the curb lane. I didn't see the car in the second lane. So as I start to make my turn, of course it's a wide turn because I haven't made a full and complete stop. So I make a wide turn and I immediately hit this car and spin the car around, myself included. So 2 cars completely spun around. I'm like, what just happened? So I'm frustrated. I'm angry. I'm like freaked out. I'm like, what's going on? I jump out of my car, run up to the other car. It's a little old lady, completely traumatized, but she's okay, which is good. So I'm making sure she's okay. You know, I'm calling it off on the radio about what just happened, this accident that I was in, plus the fact that this car took off from me, trying to give a description of the vehicle to the air unit, trying to give a description of the suspects, like trying to give them as much as I can while dealing with my own little piece of shit that I'd created. So what happened? Well, they got away. Too many cars, rush hour traffic, nobody was close to me. They got away. But I had something that I still had to deal with, and that was the fact that I had caused this collision. Sure, I can say all kinds of stuff like, hey, my lights were on and she should have seen me and all that other stuff. But the truth is, I should have seen her. Now, I did have lights, but they were like real small lights in there in my grill. Like you would have to be looking to actually see them. So she didn't ever see me, but it was my fault because I was going too fast. Like literally, I was just trying to stay on their ass because I wanted to make sure that they didn't get away. That was my only concern. But because I went too fast, I caused this collision. And because I caused this collision, right, we had to deal with her, had to deal with her vehicle, had to deal with me and with my vehicle. So what was going to be a promising Saturday turned into a train wreck that I had to deal with for a couple of months. Because just being in an accident is not the end of it. You go to a vehicle review board that reviews your accident. Then I had to deal with the fact that I had to go to the pursuit board, Was I in a pursuit or not in a pursuit? So I had to deal with all of those things and then the complaint that came afterwards. All of these things based on the fact that I was going too fast. Now, I shared with you 2 stories. One from this morning, me cutting myself shaving, going too fast. The second from me driving too fast, not paying attention to my surroundings, and then causing this collision. And ultimately, the quote-unquote bad guys got away, and an innocent woman was hurt. Minor injuries, but she was still hurt. What does this have to do with you in your life? I want you to think about this for a minute. One simple question. Where is it right now in your life that you're going too fast? And because you're going too fast, you're either hurting yourself or somebody else. Yes, I just said that. Where are you going so fast that you're either hurting yourself or somebody else? See, this morning as I was driving into work, that's the question I posed for myself. Because even right now, as far along as I've come in my life, all the things that I've learned, all the strategies that I'm deploying, everything that I've done, I am still going too fast in certain situations. Let me give you an example. Saturday, my wife and my 2 boys were out of town, so it was just my daughter and I. My daughter's almost 16. I was like, oh, this will be great. We'll have the evening together. We'll have the next morning together. Like, it'll be a great time. So I get home, and the first thing I tell her is like, oh, well, what do you want to eat? Oh, she wants to eat pasta. So we go to the store, we get pasta, we make dinner, and then we end up making chocolate cake. And like, it was almost like this huge rush to just do things instead of just be there with her. And I found myself like in this position of being uncomfortable in slowing down, like being uncomfortable with just being present with her. And I was like, well, I'll fix it tomorrow. So the next morning I go do my morning routine, and my daughter's like, hey, I want to go to the tennis courts and play tennis. Okay, cool. So we drive down to the tennis courts, and what's the only thing that I'm thinking? Try and get as much done as I can in one period of time. Multitask, right? So we're warming up with my daughter, and I'm listening to some audio messages from some of my coaching clients. And then we're rallying, right? We're hitting the ball back and forth. And then in between, when she's catching it, she's picking up all the balls that are scattered everywhere. What am I doing? I'm on my phone sending messages to some different coaching clients. Like, I spent that entire hour and a half that we were out there trying to be in 2 different spaces in 2 different worlds. And what ended up happening is I wasn't present in either of them. And so my daughter, when we got back, really didn't want to do anything else with me. Why? Because Dad was still connected to work. Dad was not connected to her. So I put my phone down, turned it off, and spent the rest of the day with her. And it was a great experience. But I almost lost out on it because I was going too fast, trying to do too many things. So again, in your life right now, like, where is it that you're going too fast? Is it in your business? You're going so fast trying to deploy this new marketing strategy that it's really just shit, and you're going to end up screwing everything up. Are you going too fast with your clients, not taking the time to make sure that they're taken care of? Are you going too fast with your body, that you're literally running into the gym, trying to do some CrossFit style, gas yourself workout in 20 minutes, not stretching or taking care of your body at all, and then hoping that the results will show, but instead you end up getting injured all the time? Or are you going too fast in your marriage, trying to think that by doing something quick, your wife's just going to want to have sex with you? She's just going to want to connect with you. Like, oh, hey, honey, here's some flowers. You want to go to the bedroom? Oh, hey, honey, here's a gift card. Want to go to the bedroom? Oh, hey, honey, look, I did the dishes. Want to go to the bedroom? Like, these short-term, quick strategies don't work long-term. They don't. So I challenge you to find one place, just one place, where you need to slow down. So you quit cutting yourself, or you quit hurting somebody else. Slow down. Be present. And deliver the maximum value to yourself, to a significant other, to your business. Slow down. All right, that is it for today. As always, Guys, stay safe, stay aware, and win the daily war. We'll see you on the next one.